Pacific Northwest this morning. Several communities, in fact, have already been impacted and forced to evacuate as conditions continue to fuel wildfire growth. This is over the past couple of weeks. At this point, nearly 50 active fires have consumed more than 1 million acres across Washington and Oregon. As crews continue to fight these wildfires, there are fire weather conditions that are finally beginning to ease. But now we look at the smoke component, and smoke from the fire outbreak has been degrading the air quality across portions of the West. And now that smoke, it is starting to spread. We have Weather Command weekend host meteorologist Melanie Black joining us in this morning for Studio W coverage of where the smoke is expected to track. And it is a symptom of the season, right? This is something we tend to see where you may not have an active fire, but perhaps you have the smoke impacting your air quality.
Exactly. And a lot of this is because of dry lightning that was sparked earlier this month. So we had dozens of these fires that started across the Pacific Northwest and are still active. In fact, just the past 24 hours, we had more fires that were ignited. That is because of the critical fire weather conditions that were in place over the weekend. Now you look at some of the worst of the air quality, and Boise, Idaho, one of those spots. So obviously the closer you are to some of these fires, which the majority of the ongoing wildfires are in Oregon. So the closer you are to Oregon and you have this northwest flow, it's going to push that smoke there. So very unhealthy air still across Boise, Idaho, for example. And this is a spot where you're going to continue to keep it around. In fact, looking at the National Weather Service discussion, they're saying there's very little improvement going forward. And that's because of some weak winds aloft. They're not going to be strong to push this out of here. You also have some valley winds that are going to push this down to lower elevations. So it certainly has some staying power. Even Missoula, Montana, saying that there is really no relief from this smoke for the foreseeable future in their forecast discussion over the weekend. So not the kind of verbiage that you do want to see. Here's a look at those active wildfires. And again, you can see the majority of the ones that we're monitoring are across Oregon. And with that ridge that's been in place across the central part of the U.S., it continues to drive this smoke to the northwest. So you're seeing a lot of that flow getting tugged within areas around that ridge. Just yesterday, you're seeing more of that smoke with some of these wildfires continuing to be pushed to the north and west. Here's a closer look at what we're monitoring and will continue to monitor. Again, the worst of the air quality and where it goes down to the surface, that's going to be in areas like Oregon, into Washington, Idaho, Montana, even far east as North Dakota. And this is just going to continue to stick around. As you can see, it's pushed farther to the east and then farther to the south as we go forward into tomorrow. Now, as far as looking at what we can expect with the overall atmospheric smoke, this is the kind of smoke that isn't as bad for the air quality, but still causes a little bit of that haze, mixes into the atmosphere. It could get tugged as far east as the upper Midwest and then into portions of the East Coast. That's still to be determined, as we will have storms around this week, but you'll certainly have more of that haze across parts of the upper Midwest. And Marissa, when you look at some of these active wildfires, one of the worst ones, Kaiser Canyon, that has burned more than 100,000 acres. So nearly 1 million acres burned collectively across the Pacific Northwest. What you need to get rid of that smoke is more containment, which plenty of fire crews are working on this.
Yeah, I mean, you get firefighters that navigate the country, right, and go where they're needed most. And some of these fires truly have been difficult to beat given the conditions out there. But again, at least we're seeing improvement in some spots and monitoring what will come this week. Melanie, thank you for that.